Hey, what's up, guys? So, today I wanted to discuss a topic with a little bit of hesitation, but I'm just going to talk about it briefly, not go into too much depth and to too many details. I'll allow you guys to do that in the comment section if you so choose to. But this is regarding Azriel Clary, and recently she did a photo shoot on the beach in a bikini. Now, there's nothing wrong with anyone going to the beach, of course, after the governors have lifted stay-at-home orders, of course, and utilizing social distancing purposes. But I'm not sure if this was done after social distancing and stay-at-home orders were lifted. Actually, social distancing has not been lifted, but the stay-at-home orders in a lot of places have been. But I believe the photo shoot was done before the stay-at-home orders were lifted. So that's another story. But also the fact that she is being described as thirst trapping on social media, Instagram to be more specific, with regards to sharing these images of herself bikini clad, and they're calling it a steamy photo shoot. Now, this has been on a lot of different blogs, but I'm getting this from Boss FM, and I'll have a link to it, or try to remember to put a link to it in the description box, guys, because as you know, I am not a full-time content creator, so I try to get these recordings in as I am able to. But the article reads, "Body on the beach. R. Kelly's bikini-clad ex-girlfriend, Azriel Clary, shows off her curves in a steamy photo shoot." Azriel Clary is heating up social media with a steamy photo shoot on the beach. See her flicks, plus watch R. Kelly's ex-girlfriend cut up a Versace coat he gifted her inside. Azriel Clary is in the road to recovering after allegedly being held hostage as one of R. Kelly's sex slaves/girlfriends. In January, Azriel, who met R. Kelly when she was 17, finally decided enough was enough, and she broke free from Kelly's hold after living with him for years. It wasn't a smooth transition since she and one of Kelly's other girlfriends, Joycelyn Savage, got into a brawl in the hallway of his Trump Tower apartment in Chicago. But she got away and has been working on healing herself after all of the trauma she endured. Since coming home, she has been flexing her vocal skills on her social media accounts, and now she's showing off her assets. The aspiring singer showed off her curves in a bikini while serving up model poses on the beach. Days before she posted her bikini photo shoot, Azriel hopped on YouTube to chat with her fans. During her live stream, she pulled out a Versace jacket R. Kelly gave her and decided to cut it up with a pair of scissors. It was therapy of sorts. She says she's tired of people bashing her for wearing clothes and accessories Kelly gave her before he was arrested on you-know-what abuse and racketeering charges. In quotes, it says that she said, "We gonna get some therapy out in this MFer because I'm tired of MFers. A effing coat didn't abuse me. A man did," she said. The Grammy Award-winning singer is reportedly pissed about Azriel's video of her cutting up the Versace jacket, and he's trying to use that to cop a get-out-of-jail-free card. The Blast reports, according to court documents obtained by The Blast, Kelly's lawyers are attempting to get him released on bond. He has been shut down multiple times in the past month. In his new argument, Kelly says he can't intimidate one of the alleged victims because she hates him. The singer says he can't obstruct justice because there is no way his ex-girlfriend would listen to anything he said. In his motion, Kelly references the YouTube video, writing, "It would be impossible for Mr. Kelly to engage in any obstructive behavior regarding this individual. She has, since leaving Mr. Kelly, created an active, for-profit social media presence, requesting individuals to subscribe to her Instagram and YouTube channels where she regularly speaks of how awful he was." He points the video she uploaded where she takes a Versace winter coat that she stole from Mr. Kelly and cuts it up, showering herself in the feather filling. Kelly tries to paint Azriel as the bad one. It is clear from the audio that this was a premeditated stunt to gain viewers, with her mother in the background commenting that they had discussed using a knife and how that would have been much easier than using scissors. The rest of the video, as well as her others, has this Jane Doe talking extensively about her relationship with Mr. Kelly and her status as a victim. She is using her status to promote her brand. Watching all of this, it is obvious that she long ago rejected any allegiance to Mr. Kelly, could not be influenced by him or others acting on his behalf, and that any idea of a fear of obstruction here is simple fantasy. In the past couple of weeks, he has made numerous pleas to be released on bond. And then it says, nope, but this isn't going to work, Mr. Kelly. Here, and then they show a few clips of her singing and, doing different things on social media. Now, I just wanted to talk about this briefly. I'm, again, not going to go into too much depth with this because it's a very, very touchy topic. I am not on either side. I am not for Azriel Clary, and I am not for the singer. One, because, they're not in my personal life, so I can understand those who are wanting to cheer and champion, either one of those because you believe one more than the other. That's your choice to do that, and that's cool. But I just wanted to talk about the topic very briefly in regards to her so-called thirst trapping on social media and what do victims really act like? What do victims really do? Now, the article itself, when I was reading it, I won't say the article is contradictory, but what I am going to say is that the actions of Azriel Clary, whether she is being guided by anyone or not, she doesn't really seem to be being guided by anyone, to be honest with you. It is all over the place, and it does not make her look like the victim that she wants to appear to be, or that she's claiming to be. I'll just put it like that. And the reason that I say this is actions speak louder than words, and when she talks about the quote unquote relationship, most victims of someone being held hostage by someone, they're not calling that person their boyfriend. They're not calling that person their, someone that they were in a relationship with. I think about someone like Elizabeth Smart. Now, this happened many years ago. She was a young girl, and she was literally kidnapped from her home by this crazy couple, and she was gone for some time period, and thank God she was eventually found, and she was returned to her family, and the crazy sickos were arrested. But I never saw Elizabeth Smart always out talking about the situation. And yes, there was, I believe, a documentary done many years later where she was able to share her side of the story. And of course, there's also the fact that maybe social media wasn't as huge of a presence at that time, and also, of course, in Elizabeth Smart's life, because she was literally being held captive. So for her to be going on Instagram and YouTube and different things like that, it wasn't probably something that she would have done because of the time, and also just because of who she is. And versus someone like Azriel Clary, apparently she was already on social media, maybe not as much as she is now, but after the singer was arrested, there were clips of her on, I believe, Snapchat. And she was talking about how she loves him and that's her baby, and, and showing clips of, her pretty much dressed in very revealing, tight-fitting clothing, saying things like, what should she wear tonight? And she was showing off her body and stuff like that. So to go from, that to this, with this photo shoot on the beach, again, like I said, nothing wrong with someone going to the beach and getting in the water and wearing a bikini or a bathing suit, but this clearly makes it look like she is looking for not really positive attention. I'm just being honest in my views on what it looks like. And when you are trying to prove a point, you can say all day long that you don't care about what MFers think, and nobody can judge you or whatever, but yeah, people can judge you based on your actions. people will judge you based on your actions. And the way that she's acting out on social media with the things that she's, doing and some of the things that she's saying, it just does not give her a really great appearance in the views of people who are either already on the side of the singer or who may not really know, and they're kind of on the fence, so they don't really know what to think. It is hard to champion someone like that when you're not really looking like what an actual victim tends to act like, tends to look like. And when I say look like, I'm not talking about her physical appearance, but I mean, let's just be honest. If we're gonna go there, since she's showing it off, it does look like her body was physically enhanced, and definitely not by her own money. It does look like her ex-boyfriend, we'll just call him that, since the article is saying, ex-girlfriend, and she talks about a relationship. It looks like he financed it. It looks like he paid for it, whether he was paying on time, meaning, via credit, or if he just paid cash for it. It does look like he paid to enhance her body. I'm sorry. She got with him, she says, when she was 17 years old. She was still, even though in the eyes of the law it may be legal, she was still a kid. And that is one of the reasons why I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon of being on his side, because I do believe that we as human beings, we do have to pay for the consequences of our own actions. And okay, you like younger people than your actual age, okay, but there should be a line that needs to be like put in the sand, and I'm not going to cross that line. And so a lot of the decisions that he chose to make caused him to be in the situation that he's in because of the choices that he made to be with the people that he chose to be with. That's just my opinion, but I mean, yeah, we have to pay for the decisions that we make. And the way that she talks about him, it makes her sound like a scorned lover versus someone who was being held hostage and the victim of a predator. And again, like I said, it's because of the way she speaks about him. Even when it comes to that disgusting topic of her saying that she ate her excrement, and we'll leave it like that, she didn't say he forced her to do it. That was when I heard it, and I've heard it a number of times. I've listened to it. Again, like I said, I'm not caping for the singer. I'm not caping for her either, but I'm just talking about what I heard her say. She didn't say he made her do it. She said he asked her to do it. And I'm not saying that she wasn't afraid of what might happen if she didn't do it, so she decided to do it. But it didn't sound like he beat her up and said, if you don't do this, then I'll stop beating you up, or if you do this, then I won't beat you up, or whatever. I don't know. And even in some video clips that I've seen where she was talking about the situation, I don't know. The whole thing, it just makes it look very unclear in the terms of her being a 100% victim. And again, like I'm saying, guys, I'm not saying that you can't be in a relationship with somebody and that person is, a bit controlling, and you're a bit afraid to assert your authority over this situation and just leave, and decide not to be under the rule of that authority anymore. Because again, she was young. She's still young. She's not a child, but she was a child when she got with him, period. Even if she was legal, she was a child. So even if she can speak words that are, more than 4 or 5 syllables, and she can pronounce them well, and she may be, well spoken, which I hate that phrase, but you guys know what I mean by that. She's not speaking ghetto or broken English, or, those different things that a lot of people like to equate to someone who is African American. She just doesn't make herself look like a credible witness, and it honestly makes it look like she would be one of those, I'm just going to put a quote on it, victims that defense attorney would love to get on the witness stand so that they can tear down. As you guys may or may not know, I was a legal assistant for 12 years. It's been a while since I've done that, but my mind and my thoughts always go back to that when I look at situations such as these, and I just try to put my thinking cap on when it comes to the field of the law and how the courts and the jury and the judges may look at things. And the way she's acting out on social media, it just doesn't make it look favorable to her. I mean, again, she's not suing her ex-boyfriend, as she calls him. She calls him her ex-boyfriend, her ex-lover. She doesn't call him my attacker or my abuser or my kidnapper or different things like that. People like Elizabeth Smart and even those girls who are now women who were abducted by that crazy person years ago back in, I believe it was in Ohio, Cleveland. I could have the city wrong, but it was like 3 women who were abducted by this guy, and he had these women in his basement, impregnated them, had children with them, and they were there for about 10 years before they finally were able to escape. So that Stockholm syndrome and being an actual victim and being afraid to break away, that stuff is real. So I'm not here to negate that type of stuff. But what I'm saying is with regards to Azriel Clary and the way that she appears to be on social media, not just the bikini photo shoot, but I'm just talking about overall, but of course this is a highlight of it. When you are involved in any type of legal situation, the attorneys that are representing you, they are so on it when it comes to social media. And a lot of times they will say you need to be off of social media. If you have a social media account, you need to shut it down. And if there is anything on there that may make it look like something that's unfavorable towards your character with regards to this litigation, you need to scrub it, you need to delete it and shut the account down and not be on your social media accounts. And this young woman is on social media all the time. And I mean, of course, she's doing this because it's a monetary benefit to her. Because yes, she may have a nice singing voice, but in terms of actually making any money, what actual skills does she really have? She wasn't going to college while she was with the singer. So there's that, being able to capitalize off of his name and off of the experience that she has had with him. And, we live in a society where people love gossip. They love information. They love the so-called tea. So she's utilizing it to her benefit. And I guess, rightfully so, if it comes to, well, what is she going to do to survive when before that she was just being taken care of by him? All of her needs and, financial responsibilities that were necessary, he provided for them because she chose to leave her parents. She chose to leave the providers for her life and for her livelihood, and she was under his. But once he was not there anymore, the ex-boyfriend, the singer, then she knew that she needed to do what she had to do. So the way that things are being handled on social media, it just makes it look like it is all about profits. It's all about that. I mean, that at one point her ex-boyfriend did, so she says. So there is apparently some ways that things can be handled if it's done the right way. We'll just put it like that. But again, I'm just saying the way things appear, the way things look. So I would love to know what you guys think about it. Again, I'm not here to say that she didn't endorse some things. I was not there. None of us were. But the way she's presenting herself and the way she's presenting things online, I mean, it just doesn't look happy. If a girl goes somewhere and get therapy and be quiet, then there may be a change in tune and maybe even quieting down and not being on social media and saying as much as she has been. So I would love to know what you guys think about it in the comment section. Again, just a few brief thoughts on it. Went a little bit longer than I anticipated, but hey, that happens sometimes. So guys, thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Being Beautifully Honest podcast. I am the Minister of Beauty, here to share the Bible. That's business, inspiration, beauty, life, and enjoyment. So thanks for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And until the next episode, have an amazingly blessed and beautiful day.